On the 5th anniversary of the bombing of the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma Governor Frank Keating dedicated a national memorial to the victims on the site where the building once stood. 168 people, including 19 children, died in the 1995 blast.
On April 19th, 5 years ago, another spring Wednesday like today, the flag of our nation was flying over the Murrah Building. It is flying over our memorial today, and I know it flies proudly in all of your hearts. For those who perpetuated this act, we have one message. In America, you can speak and write and vote and complain, but there is no right to maim and bomb and kill. And if you think that you can bring that flag down, there is your answer. We have so many special guests today. It is a homecoming for many of you who came to Oklahoma in 1995 and gave us your sweat and your tears and your support. We welcome home all of you. This is your home. We are all Oklahomans today, and we are all Americans. May God continue to bless our beloved land.
My husband and I and our partner Sven, we designed the outdoor Symbolic Memorial here. And that is everything you see in this space, this kind of green park-like space. This project was given out as a competition. And we decided to participate in this competition because we felt like it was a way we could contribute to the community and give them something that would help them. As part of that competition process, the Memorial Foundation, which was established here as sort of the guiding force in creating this memorial, they sent out a mission statement or a set of guidelines to which we should follow when we were thinking about how to design this memorial. And there were a couple things that were really important. They gave us the whole boundary, the perimeter, and included in that was this section of 5th Street that is now where our reflecting pool is. That used to be a regular street that just ran through the site. And they had opted, before we ever became involved, they had decided to close off 5th Street permanently and make it part of this memorial room. Another thing that was really important, an important guideline, is that they wanted all the participants to create a design that would allow for the survivor tree to remain. And the survivor tree is located at the high point of the site. It was not a celebrated tree before this happened. It was just a tree in a parking lot. But after the bomb exploded and that tree took on sort of the symbolism of surviving, because itself, the tree itself is a survivor. It almost didn't survive that bombing. And because it was such a dynamic symbol of resilience, the community really started to rally around that tree and to gather under its branches, and it became the real symbol for this place. This part of the site is where the Murrah Building used to stand. This is the footprint, basically, of that building. Those are the walls of the parking garage right behind. And one of the guidelines was to please find a way to remember those who were killed in this space. So we treated this really as a more sacred space. We're acting very reverently here. It's quieter, and we lined the whole perimeter with these tall pine trees. They're loblolly pine trees. They're very regional, and they grow to be almost 90 feet tall. And their job is to create this soft, green, protective edge for this site and for these 9 rows of empty chairs. And we kind of saw them as these sentinels that are really protective. There's 9 rows of chairs here. Each row corresponds to 1 floor of the building. And the chairs that are on that row really reflect the people that were working or were visiting that floor of the building when the bomb went off. Each chair has a name of a victim inscribed on it, and they're not big bold black letters, but they're very lightly etched into the glass. And so we thought that was something more subtle but very beautiful. The chairs are made up of these glass bases and a bronze and granite seat and back, and they are really designed to be at the scale of a person. You know, there's something that we're all familiar with is a chair. I mean, that's something that we all can relate to across many cultures and many ages. And so we thought that was just a good way to reach a lot of people. In the day, you don't see these glass bases as much, especially from a little bit of distance. You don't see them. And it seems like these float a little bit because that glass is not so apparent. But at night, it's almost the opposite comes true, where the glass bases light up and they become really the beacons of hope that remind us that good can come out of something so evil.
There are different size chairs.
Yes, there's two sizes, and they're pretty subtle, the difference, but if you look, you can really see that. The smaller chairs are for the children. There were 19 children killed. 15 of those were in the daycare, and that's on the second floor, so most of those chairs are on this second row. And that really starts to speak to me, you know, the tragedy of how this hit just across a whole range of people. What we're looking at here are the gates of time, and they really act as our formal entry markers into the memorial room. We have one to the east is marked 901. The gate to the west is marked 903, and they really reflect or reference the moment of the bomb, which was at 902. So we don't literally write that out, but we're just referencing that 902 is really when, you know, what this whole outdoor memorial room is about, and those are acting as our edges. Each gate is comprised of two walls. In between those walls, just a slight pause, it's almost like a narthex to a church. It's just a slight little pause before you enter into the memorial room. You step away from the hustly, bustly sounds of the city, you know, get a little slice of the sky, and then you go into the memorial room. Right in the middle of this whole memorial room is a very long reflecting pool. It's about 313 feet long. It sits where 5th Street used to run through. Okay, so this used to be a busy, active street, and now it is almost a void. We can't go there anymore. We've made it inaccessible. But it also acts as an organizing element to all the different players in this outdoor room. And it's also kind of a common edge to where we can all come meet. And we really saw this main element as a place for to remember those changed forever. The water itself is only 3/4 of an inch deep. You probably won't know that unless you get right up to the pool edge and look into it. And we liked the idea of this kind of very quiet, mysteriously moving water. We thought that the noise it makes is wonderful, soothing noise to when you're visiting a place like this. It plays a big role on many sensory levels when you're experiencing the memorial. The Journal Record Building is where the museum is now housed, and that was the facade we're looking at is the alley facade of that building. When the bomb happened, it damaged the buildings that were around it so much that they had to be demolished. And so what was left was this facade that it was really evident that something had happened. The fire stair was all tangly against the building. The windows were blown out, so it was just there were just these dark voids of space where the windows used to be. When we designed this, we realized it was really important to keep that facade as much intact as it was the day that the bomb happened. because it gives us a backdrop, a reminder almost of where we're coming from. Part of this memorial is about recognizing the efforts of those who helped, and this area here is specifically about the children who helped. And the kids did a number of things. They sent letters and pictures and drawings to the rescue workers right after this happened. We heard stories about how when the rescue workers would be finished at night or have a break, they'd go to these cots that were set up for them, and there would always be a letter or a drawing there, and to kind of revive them or just give them some inspiration. And the memorial received just a lot of tiles with these pictures of whatever the kids were thinking about and whatever message they had for the community. They painted on tiles. And so we had this huge archive of tiles to choose from, and we wanted to line this whole wall with these tiles so that people would have an idea of even more of what the kids' contribution was. This area is just a big stone paved area, but interspersed in all the stone are these big, basically chalkboard slates. And we kind of arranged them like a collage of letters or pictures that reference all those collages and pictures that the kids sent in. And they are here almost to be an interactive piece. It's a way that kids and adults can come and still leave those same kinds of messages for the community. And we really hardly ever see these blank. They are either washed off by the rain or washed off by the people who take care of the memorial, but there's always people coming in to leave messages. And we feel like that interaction is sort of an important part of this memorial, and it's an important way of people letting other people know you're not alone. When we entered the competition to design this place, we had no idea of the weight that would be. But once we came here, we met the people, and we started interacting with the community, I think we started to really feel the responsibility we had taken on. And we were very fortunate to have a big team of people around us. We were fortunate in that we got to communicate with the community a lot, which was due to a process that the Memorial Foundation had put in place, that they wanted to keep the community involved with this project and keep them up to date on everything that was happening. And so that was really good for us to feel like we were doing this as a partnership with the community. But the weight it felt very heavy. But at the same time, when we were finished, on the day before dedication, and we really had to hand it over, we hoped we had done a good job and that we would be delivering to the community something that they could find comfort in, a place where they could come to and really find some sense of peace.